Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm painting Han. Today we are going to paint sunflowers, the typical flowers of autumn. In the distance on the hill, a rustic barn. It looks so peaceful, right? I've already sketched the composition on watercolor paper. And today we'll do something a little special. We'll be using masking fluid on the sunflower petals. This will help us paint the background freely without losing the petal highlight. I will show you how to use in a moment. We will be using yellow, orange, brown, soft green, and blue paint. Ready? Let's begin. First, take the masking fluid and carefully apply it over each sunflower petal. Work slowly and patiently on each petal and apply it a little thick. It's easier to remove later when dry. We'll use a hair dryer to dry the masking fluid. It can be dried in a short time. Let's move on to the background. Now apply plenty of clean water to the background. We'll be using the wet net technique in the background, so we need to generous amount of water to apply in the background. Make sure to wet the sky area well. Using a large brush work best for this step. Do not apply water to a burn area in the distance. Paint the sky with a blue tone smoothly using a large brush, which is Princeton Neptune number 8. And also apply the distance here a sort of a light blue. Avoid painting over the barn and the faraway trees if possible. We are gonna use wet and dry later. Next, use soft green to lightly paint around the flowers and background, leaving out the large leaves and small sunflowers far away for now, and painting with a light soft green wash. There's still plenty of water on the paper. The colors we blend naturally look so beautiful. That's the beauty of watercolor. So I really love this kind of effect. Next, to create a dark green, mix the soft green with a touch of ultramarine deep and touch of the brown. So I take a very thick, creamy soft green. Then later this deeper green over the first light wash. This is the second layer. Since the paper is still very wet, the color merge beautifully and softly, right? This time you should move your brush strokes very quickly. I'm mixing ultramarine deep and soft green and brown. So I got a very thick and strong creamy green. And I'm touching up the around of the flower area. The paper is still very wet, so the color and water first layer and second layer will move very naturally and mix together. Next, paint the barn in the distance by mixing brown and red. I'm using a sort of a reddish color. First, touch the very thick brown, and then clean the brush, wash that color. Still, that area, still the paper wet, so when you touch the paper, be careful. This is the burnt umber. For the barn walls, use a blue tone to bring out contrast and harmony with the sky. I mixed the blue tone and the brown. Add a second layer of dark brown under the roof to show the shadow and depth. Paint the trees near the barn and the small ones on the left hill, using a mix of green, brown, and some of the blue. This is the first layer. Paint the very light green. For the second layer, I'm mixing brown and sap green. Next, let's paint the small sunflowers in the distance. Use light yellow and deep yellow and a sort of brown in order. There's no need to paint them in detail. Since they are far away, a soft and loose touch works the best. Okay? We will save the fine details for the large flowers in the foreground. This means we are going to create main flowers in detail more. Let's paint the stem and leaves in green. It takes practice to move your brush freely. Sometimes pressing it firmly on the paper, sometimes shaking or flicking your brush tip lightly. Then blend nicely if they need, okay? Okay, when you are done, dry the paper again using a hair dryer. Then carefully removing the masking fluid using a masking eraser helps a lot. But if you don't have a masking eraser, You can peel it off gently with your fingers. Now it's time to paint the sunflowers. Start with a light yellow base one by one. When painting the petals, try to apply the colors by moving your brushes smooth, straight strokes that follow the direction of each petals. Avoid using short dotting motions, as if you are tapping the brush. It doesn't work well here, because the sunflower petals are quietly large. So using longer, confident strokes will help you create a more natural flow and beauty. Then deepen the front petals with a slightly stronger yellow by permanent yellow and a touch of orange. Use a dark brown for the flower centers. Is it gonna be a seed, or is just a pistil and stamens? I'm not sure. Leaving a few small white areas for highlights. That's why we use dried brush stroke here. You better use dots and dotting for seed here. Right before I mentioned using a wrong brush strokes, but now use dots. That's because we paint depending on the size of the subject and the topic. Next, use a light brown to define the space between petals. Take a little dark brown, add on the center of the flower area. Now I'm defining some flower petals area. And gently lift a bit of yellow from the petal tips. Since that's where the light is coming, so this area is a little bit lighter area, so it should look slightly brighter. Continue refine between petals with brown, one by one. I'm using a very fine brush. Let's move on to the second flower. Repeat the same process and technique as the first sunflower. So follow along slowly as you watch my brush strokes. If you can feel that my video is moving a little too fast, just pause it and take your time to follow along. Don't rush and don't get any stress. Simply enjoy the process of painting. Let yourself enjoy every brush strokes. Okay? Now let's start the third flowers. I will use the same process and technique as the first and second flowers. So you can just watch and then follow along my strokes. Now we are back here again. Let's paint the sunflower seed once more. This time using the darkest, a sort of brown, to add depth. For the center, dot in the dark brown color to add the seed. Now let's work on the stems. I'm mixing a sap green, ultramarine deep, and indigo to create a rich dark green. Paint the large sunflower leaves in layers. First light green, then mid green, and finally dark green as always. I mean, first light value, then add middle value, and finally dark value. If you paint a large size of the paper, you need to add more values. I mean, you need to more steps. Start very light value. Now I want to adding some bluish color on the petal leaves. This is the light value. Then take a little dark value, put on the first layer. Still, this one is the first layer. Yeah, this is the second value of the light green. Okay, take a little thick, dark value of the green. I'm touching the leaf area and then blend it nicely. The leaf area still has a lot of water, so you can touch it. When you touch the paper, you need to be careful. We are getting close to finishing the paint. We just have a few leaves left to paint. Okay, let's keep up the good work. Add smaller leaves here and there and fill the empty space in the background with leaves and stem of various size to create balance. Now I draw the very tiny leaves. This one too. Define the between petals. You can make some story on your painting. Draw smaller leaves or smaller flower here and there. It's up to you. This is the final touch-up on the flower area. Then I want to draw the shadow from the large leaves. So I take a little dark brown, no, dark bluish green. This is the shadow from the left side of the leaf. Today's painting took a bit longer because we create a flower, fields, and a small red barn. But it was worth the time, right? Okay, our sunflower painting is complete, almost complete. Before we finish, please don't forget to subscribe and hit our like button, leave a comment. Thank you so much for painting with me today. See you next time. Bye.